Okay, worked example 7. What we're going to look at now is some outliers. The concept of an outlier is it's just a result that sits a little bit away or apart, separate from all the rest of the data. And we'll have a look at that in this example. Now we can use our stem and leaf plots that we just looked at to basically work out our mean, median, mode, all those sorts of, basically comment on what the data is actually doing. Alright, so let's have a look at our question. Calculate the median, and the range for each of the following data sets. Comment on whether there are any possible outliers in the data. So in part A, students in the class were asked to indicate the number of brothers and sisters they had. These were the results obtained. So we can see the first two people have got one brother or sister, 2, 5 and so on. Draw a dot plot and use it to help you answer the question. And in part B, we've got a new display at the museum attracting various numbers of people. We conduct a survey to count the number of people visiting the attraction each day, and here's our result. So on the first day we got 235 people, 195 people, 156 people and so on. Draw an ordered stem and leaf plot and use it to help you answer the question. So the question's actually asking us calculate the median and the range for the sets of data and comment on if we've got any outliers. They're the three things we've got to do. Alright, so in order to do it in the first one, we're going to do a dot plot. So the first thing we want to know is, what's my biggest, what's my smallest number? So if I look at my data here, my smallest one is obviously a 0. Okay, we're talking about numbers and brothers and sisters. You can't get less than 0. If we look at my biggest number, here's a 9. So what we're going to do is draw a dot plot using that data. Okay, so my data goes between 0 and 9, so I'm going to draw a dot plot for that data. Draw my number line, and we put our numbers on. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's a number line, it could continue, although it's not going to go below 0 in this case. And all we do is we run through our data and we put some dots on there. So if I read through it, we had a 1, we had another 1, we had a 2, we had a 5, a 2, a 3, a 2, 2 zeros, a 4, a 2, a 3, a 9, big family, a 1, a 0, a 2, a 1, a 4, a 1, a 5, a 3, a 2, running out of space there, and a 0. Okay. Alright, so that's part A, or the first part I've got to do. Done my dot plot. Alright, so now I've got to work out the median. Now, you can work out the median a couple of ways, but we've effectively got our data in order now. You can count from the outside in, so we've got that guy and that guy, one off each end. Keep effectively crossing them off each end. Alright, and I'm going to cross as I come towards the middle. You can see that my middle one's going to be a 2. Otherwise, you could say there's 23 numbers there. Half of 23 is going to be the middle number, which is the 12th value, and you count along 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is the one we had before, which is 2. We need to find the range, so range equals the biggest minus the smallest. The biggest one is 9, Smallest is 0. 9 minus 0 is 9. So there's a spread of 9 between the lowest number of siblings and the biggest number. And comment on any outliers. Well, we can see that this guy here is clearly out on his own. So 9 is an outlier. And that's all we have to do. Okay, in part B we're looking at the new display at the museum, and the question asks us to do a stem and leaf plot. So, what I want to know, my smallest number. My smallest value that I've got is 156. My biggest value that I've got is 235. And you get that from just looking through the data and seeing the smallest and the biggest one. Alright, now when we do this stem and leaf plot, what we'll do is we'll do the hundreds and the tens column as part of the stem and the units column as part of the leaf. Because if we look at our data, it's probably the easiest way to separate it. Alright, so how do we do that? So my stem starts with the 150s, 160s, 170s, 80s, 90s, the 200s, 210s, 220s and 230s, because I've got to get up to 235. Rule off my stem, and then I run through the data and I start putting the leaves out there. So if I have my data from smallest to biggest, my smallest one will be 156. The next one's 165, 165, 166, 69, 170, 173, 177, and there's a few of those, 184, 186, 188 visitors, 189 visitors, 190 visitors, 192 visitors. 5, 9, there was 200 visitors on one day, and on one day we had 235 visitors. Right, I need my key. Just pick a number. 155 equals, so 15 and the 5 is 155. Okay, so let's start working out what we need to. The median. Okay. Alright, so we can count our way in from the outside a little bit like we did before. So we've got that one and that one. So we start at the smallest and work our way up. And from this side I'm starting at the biggest and working down. So I start here and I'm working down the numbers. Cross one off, 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 cross one off. Keep going. So he's still working his way up, and this one's still working down, like that. And there we go. 177 and 184 are my two that are left in the middle. So I need to average them out. So the median equals 177 plus 184 divided by 2, which is, so the median is 180.5. There is no actual result in there that's that, but that's still what my median is. Range, biggest minus smallest, so 235 minus 156 equals 79. So we had a range of 79 from our smallest number of visitors to the biggest. And outliers, well, this guy's clearly on his own, separated from everything else. There must have been something happening that day that made it a big day.